Welcome everybody to the Learn How to Succeed at a Hackathon panel. This is the Student Zone. My name is Pablo Veramendi. I am the Global Program Manager for the Imagine Cup as well as our Student Partner Program. And we have some amazing panelists today. But first, let us take a quick look at the Microsoft Code of Conduct. Now, this is our standard code of conduct for all our online events. Essentially, we just want you to enjoy the session and follow the code of conduct and make sure that we're nice to everybody, as Sarah likes to put it. So please follow the code of conduct. And let me introduce our panelists. So these are all Gold Student Partners, which mean they have been in the program for over a year. They've been selected by the operations team at the Student Partner Program to be Gold Student Partners. So they are the community leaders. They are, running lots of events, recruiting for the program, and essentially just doing all around amazing work for the Student Partner Program. So instead of talking about them, I will let them introduce themselves. So I will first hand off to Como, and he will introduce himself and tell us all a little bit about what he does when it comes to hackathons. Go ahead.
Sure. My name is Homo, and I am a fourth-year app dev student studying at the Durban University of Technology in South Africa. Over the past year alone, I've participated in 4 hackathons, and I've organized 1 hackathon with Major League Hacking. Taking part in hackathons, whether you organize one or you join one, enables you to have direct impact in your communities.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Homo. Okay, hand it over to Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm from Kenya and an electrical engineering student at Dedan Kimathi University of Technology, currently in 5th year. In the last 2 years, I've participated in 4 hackathons so far and 1 in several, and also I've been an organizer of hackathons. And one of the major things as to why I love participating or organizing in hackathons, it's the experience and the exposure it gives you, giving you an opportunity to work on solutions that you love and creating products that impact your communities. That's one of the amazing things that makes me attend hackathons.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh. All right, over to you, Khushbu.
So, hi everyone, I'm Khushbu Verma. I'm a CSE undergraduate from Delhi, India. And as like every developer, I'm also very passionate about hackathons. In the past year, I have participated in 3 hackathons. I've organized one at my campus, which was Microsoft Student Hack Day. And I've also been a judge at one of the hackathons. So I have seen both sides of the table, and every time it gets more exciting. So that is why I just love hackathons, and I'm so glad to be on this panel today.
Awesome. Thank you, Khushbu. And over to you, Sugman. You're on mute. Sukman, you're on mute.
Hey everyone, I'm Sukmanpreet Singh. I'm a computer science student in senior year at JCRC University, India. I've been participating in hackathons for the last 4 years, and so far I've won 2 of them, and it's been a really amazing experience. For one, that it's always a learning thing. The learning curve is really smooth. So you get to learn from the scratch. Even if you're a beginner, you get to learn from the very start, and you get to build a product. And that, to me, is one of the best part of being in hackathon. And that has changed my perspective of how work is done, how teams work, how teamwork is used constructively to build these new products and experiences that we all love to use. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So I have a couple questions for our panelists that I will be asking them. But of course, we would love, this is a Q&A, so we would love for the audience to ask questions as well so that we can pass those on to the panelists. So please go ahead and use the Q&A to add your questions, and we will address them as they come up. So my first question for all the panelists is, how has participating in a hackathon changed your perspective and or helped you for your future career goals? You want to start, Homo?
Well, for me, it has helped me better analyze problems and discover solutions that suit the specific needs of that issue. When people usually start a project, the initial excitement makes them think of the niceties of that possible solution. In a hackathon, you don't have much time, so that forces you to focus on what's really important and what's really needed to solve that issue. This ups your skill as you're backed into a corner, and you are then forced to utilize efficient programming structures, which increases your knowledge. And I like to assume that participating in hackathons showcases to future employees that you're able to work well in intense environments.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Como. And I apologize, Olumide. I skipped over you. I was too excited to get to the questions. So passing back to you, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, and we'll get back to the questions here.
Hi, everyone. As you can see, I'm super excited to be here. I'm Olumide Ogundare. I'm a final year student studying systems engineering at the University of Lagos, Nigeria. Yeah, I love innovation. I love solving problems, and that's why I like getting involved in hackathons. I've organized 2 hackathons and participated in 3, and I'm so glad to be sharing my experience about hackathons with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Handing over to Josh to answer the question about how participating in hackathon has changed your perspective or helped you prepare for your future career goals. Go ahead.
Participating in a hackathon, one of the major takeaways for me is being able to work in a team, being a team player, because that's one of the skills that you learn in hackathons. And, it helps you become an individual that can work with colleagues in effective teamwork to be able to deliver a product or a solution. And so being a team player is actually one of the soft skills that is needed in every industry, and participating in hackathons, that's one thing that you really get to learn. You really get to know how to work in teams and how to be an effective team player. So that's my takeaway for participating in hackathons.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh. Okay, hand over to Khushbu.
So
Go ahead.
participating in hackathons for me has been a really, learning experience. I have found that whenever in every hackathon that I've participated, my learning skill set has increased, and it always happens that I end up learning a new tech stack every time. So, and also as Josh mentioned, the teamwork is really important. So you get to work with a team, and at all of the hackathons, there are a lot of workshops going on. So it always adds to your knowledge. I remember at one of the hackathons, I learned how to transform a project into a real life product, how to scale it for the real users out there. And I think that really adds to our practical knowledge. And that is why I really love hackathons.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Khushbu. Okay, Olumide, over to you.
Yeah, so before I started getting involved in hackathons, I've always thought the process between thinking about an idea and then the final product is an easy walkthrough, right? But when I started working on hackathons, participating, I realized there's a whole lot more during that process. And it involves a lot of teamwork and collaboration. And I really learned a lot from this. It's helped me to shape my career. I've always wanted to be a top-class software engineer, and teamwork and collaboration is really important. I remember during my software engineering internship, it helped me to understand the agile framework of how things are done, and not just in my career. It also helped me in other things I do in my daily activities, even in the MSc program. I know in the MSc program, a lot of people actually see me to drive the initiative of better together, because I believe if you organize an event, it's really good, right? But if you organize an event and collaborate with other people, it's very great. So yeah, I've learned a lot about collaborations from hackathons, and that's really helped me in my career.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Over to you, Sukman.
Hey, so my key takeaway from the hackathon has been it's about design, it's about empathy. So what I truly learned at a hackathon was that we need to truly understand the problem in order to actually solve the problem. So one of the skills that has been very important for me is to actually understand the problem. And as Josh mentioned, that there have been a lot of soft skills that I've learned through hackathon as well, and they have really, they've drastically changed everything I thought about the workforce. So, basically starting from the presentation, the way you talk, your pitch, everything, it actually matters when you're in a hackathon. And even what matters even more is the the empathy that understanding the problem as faced by the user, not as you think yourself. So you learn to get out of that box that you think that there exists, and you actually focus on the problem as the user wants it to be. So that empathy has been one of my key takeaways from participating in hackathons, exercising the empathy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is awesome. I appreciate all those answers. Panelists, we have a lot of questions coming in. I do want to get to one more question that I have for the panelists before we address the ones in the chat here. The first time I went to a hackathon, I was a Microsoft employee. I'd never been to a hackathon before. We have our 1 week hackathon here, which is super overwhelming because it's like 10,000 employees hacking together. And because the Magic Cup has always been in the same time frame, I've never been able to participate actually. And so I went to a student hackathon, and it was overwhelming. There were so many people there, and I wasn't even participating. I was there supporting the event as a Microsoft employee. So I can only imagine as a student how it feels to kind of take that first step, going to your first hackathon and participating in your first hackathon. So my question for the panelists is, can you tell us a little bit about your first experience at a hackathon? Why did you decide to go? What did you end up doing? And do you have any tips that you would give to somebody who's thinking about going to hackathon for the first time? And I'll start with Homo.
Sure. My first hackathon came from pure chance. A few friends of mine were interested in a hack that they had heard about, and they needed a 4th member. This was post the exam period, so I was really tired and I just wanted to spend the rest of the week resting. But my friends were not going to let that happen. So they dragged me over to the hack, and the rest is history. We decided to tackle the theme of education and build an online platform whereby students can sort out other student tutors based on level and topic and arrange private sessions. There were cool stuff like in-app chats, rating and comment sections, and we used some cool tools like Azure and GitHub. First-time hackers should just be yourselves and not be bummed out if they do not win. We came second during our first hack, but I was proud of the work we had done, using services that we have never used before. What you learn and the new skills you gain at a hackathon should be your main takeaway.
Awesome tips. Thank you, Homo. Okay, over to you, Josh.
Okay, so my first time participating in a hackathon, I was in first year, just immediately after I joined university. And I just had a few friends talking about they were going for a hackathon. I practically didn't know what that was, and it just sounded like some nice idea. And at that time, I didn't have any experience in coding or learning any programming language, but I just decided I'll just go and see what these people are talking about. And so my first time participating in it, I knew nothing about programming. I knew nothing about building solutions or building applications. And I went out there, and it was the first time I got so much interested in learning technology and in doing what I do today, organizing events for students. Because it was at that point that I learned about how much impact activities such as hackathons can have in the community and in the lives of students. And so my takeaway for any student who would like to participate in a hackathon for the first time is that you shouldn't wait for you to have the skills, to learn a programming language for you to participate in that hackathon. Sometimes you go there to learn, and that was my case. I went there not knowing anything, but the exposure that I got from that experience propelled me to be where I am today.
Awesome, thank you. Handing over to Kushbu.
So something similar for me. I never participated in any hackathons in my freshman year because I always thought that I did not have the relevant skill set, that I should first learn the technologies and then I should participate. But when I came into my second year, there was an all-women hackathon being conducted, and I thought that that would be a really nice opportunity for me to just go out and explore what a hackathon is, because at some point we have to go out there, and I think that an all-women hackathon was like more of a safe space for me. So we went there, and although we didn't win, but the learning that I had from that hackathon was immense, and that literally attracted me to participate in a lot of more hackathons. And I also realized that listening to the other people's pitches, their ideas also adds to your knowledge, and I was just wondering, wow, these people have made such amazing projects. Maybe I can do that too. So for my tip for first time hackers is just don't be afraid. Don't think that you do not know. Just go out there for the exposure of it, and definitely you'll come out, having learned a lot more.
Awesome. Thank you, Kushbu. Over to you, Olumide.
Yeah, so I remember the first time I participated in an hackathon. The reason why I participated was because I had a great addition to your resume, right? And that's why I actually participated in the hackathon. And my experience during that hackathon, it was really nice because I had fun. But I think major takeaway from that hackathon was we focused majorly on the engineering and not the product. I think it's one important thing too. For hackers out there, it's important that you think about the product that you want to push out there. Think about your customers, what they really need, and I think my advice to hackers is that you shouldn't be afraid. Don't think you have to be an expert to participate in an hackathon. Hackathons are for you to learn, to even explore new technologies. And let me tell you one thing: not all best programmers are in hackathons. Most times when you go on to hackathons, you notice that most people that are there are people that are actually really new to those technologies. So don't feel you don't really know much. You actually have enough potential. You actually have the problem solving skills to actually participate in the hackathon. So that's really one important thing for first time hackers.
Awesome. Thank you, Olumide. Over to you, Sukman.
Hey, so my experience at Hackathon has been really amazing. So the first time I actually participated in Hackathon was I was in the freshman year. It was like mid-year, and we had this. So our university organized first ever hackathon, which was officially by the university administration, and it was truly great. What made me participate in the hackathon was like a lot of friends actually approached me and they were like, Sukman, let's do participate in this thing, and that's when I wouldn't have actually gone for it had I not got enough support from my friends and peers, and what I learned from that experience is that it's really important to actually believe in your team, to believe in your friends, to believe in your mentors that are there at the hackathon. And so the tips that I have for people who are, or students who are actually going to be for joining the hackathon for their first time is that don't fret it out, don't worry, just go there and absorb everything that you can have, that you can learn. It's so much empowering. It's so much empowering in terms of learning, in terms of developing yourself, developing your personality. It changes you. And one more tip that I have for everyone is go with learn it all mindset rather than know it all mindset. It's go as a learner, go as a child. Children are very curious. They just do things, they fail at it, but then they quickly pick up and then they succeed at it. So the faster you fail, the quickly you fail, the quickly you learn, and the quickly you succeed. And that's what kept me going at the hackathon. And eventually we came up as the first runner up for the team for the hackathon, and that's been a very good experience for me. It's been guiding me ever since. I've never stopped participating in hackathons since then. Thank you.
That's awesome. Love to hear all the passion from these panelists about their experiences in the past. Sounds like they've been doing a lot with hackathons, and they haven't succeeded the first time. It's not all of them do that. So keep that in mind. It is a learning experience. I love the learn it all mindset. Going to a hackathon, you're going there for the experience, potentially meet other people, to do the workshops, and that's okay, right? That's okay. I mean, you have to take that first step. And I think in taking that first step, you've already done something great. So I want to address some of the questions from the audience here. So panelists, I'm going to ask the question and repeat it. If you can type whether or not you would like to answer it, and I will hand over to you. The first question is, what would be the best way to learn about a new concept that you've never seen before or heard of? How do you research on the fly and make the best use of resources? So again, the question is, what would be the best way to learn about a new concept that you've never seen before or heard of, and how to research that on the fly to make the best use of resources? Panelists, anybody want to take that one? You can just come off the mute if you want. Homo? Oh, Sukman, sorry, go ahead. Hand it over to you.
Hey, so Yeah, it's me back again. So I want to talk about, if you talk about learning on the fly, that actually comes that there is a cycle about this learning. So you learn, you build something, then you fail, then you do it again, and then you keep doing it until you succeed. And that has helped me a lot, since then. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other panelists want to take on this one?
What I usually do is I tend to try and read the source. So whatever I'm trying to build, whatever I'm trying to do, I will grab instead of going to online communities and stuff, I would try and download the source, read the source. That's the fastest way to get into a new technology. And that's what I usually do when I'm learning something new.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on to another question from the audience. So a lot of questions about feeling stressed, that there's very little time. How many energy drinks are the maximum that I should drink during a hackathon? What would you guys, the panelists, give feedback on? How do you deal with the stress? How do you deal with like this limited time that you have to come up with an idea and present it? So let me see.
So
go ahead.
I would like to take that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think one important thing for hackathons is how you get to manage your team. And it's one of the skills you get to learn, which is leadership skills. I think it's important that we encourage one another, show gratitude to your team while you are participating in the hackathon. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person, right? So it's important that we try to encourage one another, show gratitude to your members, let them know they are doing awesome stuff. I think passion and motivation is one key thing that will help you when you are stressed out. It helps you to revive the tons of motivation you've lost and helps you to even get going.
Awesome, thank you. And Khushbu, over to you.
Yeah, so I think, hackathons can be stressful, but that is okay. The best part about hackathons is that you have a networking opportunity. There are so many mentors out there. If you feel that you are feeling stressed or if you do not know what to do next, just go out and talk to some mentor. They will definitely help you because, I have received a lot of help from mentors. And also encourage your teammates. It can get overwhelming if you're not able to integrate a feature within some particular time period, but it's okay. Just tell your friends that it's okay and that you can do it. Just a little motivation goes a long way.
Awesome. Thank you, Khushbu. Over to you, Josh.
Okay, for me, it goes back to the way that you form your teams, because your team should have at least one person who is a leader, one person who is the team lead for your team in the hackathon. And the person you assign to be your leader should be able to keep the team intact, should be able to assign roles appropriately and also encourage or motivate the team members, because the pressure can be really intense, and sometimes it goes down to the way you've divided tasks among each other. Maybe not having an appropriate plan on how you're going to execute towards the solution you're building. So, having that plan in place and also having someone who is in charge of the team and in charge of all the operations that you're handling together as a team will be very vital in the way you manage your time, and that will ease pressure on you in the way you execute.
Awesome. Thank you. Over to you, Sukhman.
Thank you so much. I want to talk about what Khushbu said. I want to echo that the stress is one of the key factors in, either you can be controlled by stress or you can control the stress. So I'd actually, give some tips about controlling stress is, don't think it as the end of the life. It's very important to actually control stress and focus on what you want to build. So it's also a networking opportunity at Hackathon. You can connect with a lot of people and they can help you in building. If there are mentors at Hackathon, if there are so MLH has some these mentors at hackathons that actually help out with technologies and projects, and that is very important to me. I mean, you can actually ask them to maybe help you in some sort of technology, or there's some difficulty, some glitch you're facing, some error in the build, and that's really about it. And one more tip: don't go for the energy drinks. I mean, seriously, too much energy drinks, nah.
Yeah, I admit that with my first hackathon, I had to take a couple energy drinks to stay up with all you students. So, all right, we have a bunch of questions about beginners that maybe coding is not their domain. I think there's a biologist out there that was asking about participating in hackathon. Others that are just concerned that they're too much of a beginner to participate in a hackathon, and they're a little nervous about how to find a team, if they'll be a drag on the team or something, because they just don't have enough experience. What would your advice be to those that aren't necessarily coders, or aren't that their domain isn't necessarily tech? Well, I mean, tech is part of everything right now, but anyway, how would you guide them in their journey to participating in a hackathon? And who would like to go first? Olumide, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think one important thing is in the process of building a solution, it's not just engineers, right? There are lots of other people that are needed to build a product. And I talked about a product owner before. Basically, it's important that you have someone that's in charge of customers, who needs the product, when to actually push out the product. We actually need people that should be in charge of presentations. These are actually various skills that are not all that technical, that other people in the team can actually take up responsibilities to do. And that's one major thing you can do as well.
Awesome, thank you. Josh, over to you.
Okay, I'll just echo what Olumide has said. A hackathon team doesn't necessarily mean it's a group of coders only. A team needs to be all-rounded. It will need some designers. It will need some project managers, because if a hackathon team is just comprised of data scientists, they may not be able to deliver on the business perspective of the solution they are providing. And in most hackathons, the solution is judged holistically. The tech aspect of the project, and the business side of it, and also the design. So if you don't need to be a coder for you to go and participate in a hackathon. If you have your business skills, or you have any expertise in whatever domain you are from, and you might find a team that is building a solution in the domain which you have expertise, but they need some insights from someone who has expertise in that domain. So you may not necessarily go there as a developer, or go there to actively contribute in the writing of code, but you may actively influence the decisions they make in the way they tackle the problem, because you are knowledgeable in that area. So you don't need to be a developer for you to participate in hackathons. I remember a month ago, yeah, it's last month, I participated in an online hackathon for in a COVID-19 challenge, and some members of our team were not guys who actively write code. They were people who had expertise in the business side, and they could give us insights on how we'll tackle the marketing as part of the solution. So you really don't need to be a developer for you to participate in hackathons. Whatever skills you have in your domain, come with that to a hackathon.
Awesome, thank you so much. And I see that all the time in the Magic Cup teams, right? There are definitely some coders, but there are marketing folks, there are UI, there are designers, and there's just the idea folks, right? The ones that come with these great ideas and that form these teams to come up with a solution. So we don't have that much time left. I'm going to ask one more question. I'm going to ask Komo and Kushbu to answer. So the question is, and it's addressing a bunch of the questions that were out there, but it's one of mine. Do you have any tips on forming teams and coming up with ideas to submit to the hackathon? And we'll start with you, Komo.
I wouldn't know how to give a perfect answer to that, but just be sure to work with people who are just as determined as you are. If you choose from people that you don't know, then I would say that you would have to start your search early. As soon as you walk into the room, try and identify the people who are strongest by asking about their past experience, but not only by strengths, asking by different unique skills, because like Josh and my fellow MSPs have said, it's not just about the coding aspects of it all. Also, if you have an idea, work on your pitch, because you would like to sell your idea as best as possible and attract people who share the same goal as you. Another tip I would like to add is you should also try to seek diversity. Look for people with unique strengths and different skill sets so that you can build a solution that's as close to complete as possible. When looking for a solution, always try to solve problems that occur today so that people can relate. Some common themes that people relate to, and you should think about this when forming a team, would be business, education, health, entertainment, and so on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Khushbu, we got last answer here. Hand it over to you.
So I think while choosing teammates, it is very important to find people who are as enthusiastic as you, who are as passionate about solving problems as you are, and also have people who have different experiences, right? Somebody can have experience in web development, someone can have some expertise in machine learning, someone can have expertise in design, someone can be, very good at pitching answers. A team should be, holistic and complete and diverse, so that, you all come together, you all make, very wonderful product, not just a project. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Khushbu. Thank you to all of our panelists. This has been amazing. There's a lot of other questions that hopefully that our moderators and myself can get to after we close out here. But thank you for joining us again. Look for hackathons in your areas. Also, MLH is a great resource. Major League Hacking. They have listings of hackathons as well, and of course, the Imagine Cup. Some refer to it as the world's biggest hackathon. So even if you bring a project to a hackathon and you don't succeed, keep on working at it. Keep on iterating. It's not something that needs to stop at the end of the hackathon, and you can always bring it to the Imagine Cup. We would love to see your solutions there. So please continue hacking, continue being curious and following your passion, and we would love to see what you all end up doing. We do have a short survey, so somebody's going to put that in the chat window here, and go ahead and fill that out. You'll have to use the session code COM221. We want your feedback. We want to know how we can improve on these sessions, how we can make things better for you in the future. And we hope you enjoyed it, but we'd love your feedback. There's a ton of student resources here on GitHub, Microsoft Learn for Students, Azure for Students, the Imagine Cup, and of course, the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Program. So if you want to be a student partner like them, there's a new program, the Microsoft Student Learn Ambassadors, that all these student partners will join in July. So you can apply there at studentambassadors.microsoft.com. And hopefully you enjoyed this and got a lot out of it. And we hope to see you at the next hackathon.